Hey there, Dawg Pound. We've got some juicy updates today, so stick around to stay informed. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single headline as we navigate through one of the most critical off-seasons in Cleveland Browns history. Alright, let's get to it. There's a big conversation brewing about the 2025 NFL Draft quarterback class, and Browns fans, it's not exactly the news we wanted to hear. Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl, had some blunt words at Monday's press conference. Here's what Nagy had to say. It's certainly not last year. I don't know if anyone in this class would have been in the top 6 last year. I don't know if any of those guys are Bo Nix, Michael Penix, or J.J. McCarthy. That's not what you want to hear when your team has the 2nd overall pick and is in desperate need of a quarterback. Now, let's back up a bit. The 2024 quarterback class was historic. 6 quarterbacks went in the first round, including Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May as the top 3 picks. Additionally, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, and Bo Nix rounded out a group that hit the ground running and made an impact. Jaden Daniels? He led the Washington Commanders to the NFC Championship game. Nagy believes this class will go down as one of the greatest in history. And here we are in 2025, with a group of quarterbacks that most experts think doesn't even compare. The Athletics draft expert Dane Brugler echoed Nagy's sentiments, saying on social media that this year's quarterbacks will be battling for QB4 or QB7 in last year's draft. So where does that leave the Browns? The consensus top 2 quarterbacks in this year's class are Miami's Cam Ward and Colorado's Shedeur Sanders. But neither of them are participating in the Senior Bowl this week. Shedeur Sanders made an appearance at the East-West Shrine Bowl in Texas, but only to meet with teams, not practice or play. Cam Ward? He skipped both events entirely. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Shedeur Sanders has been heavily linked to the Browns. He's reportedly met with the Titans, number 1 overall pick, the Giants, number 3 overall pick, and, of course, Cleveland. It's no secret that the Titans are likely drafting a quarterback, so the real question is whether Sanders will still be on the board when it's Cleveland's turn to pick. Meanwhile, at the Senior Bowl, the quarterbacks in action include Alabama's Jalen Milroe, Ole Miss Jackson Dart, Notre Dame's Riley Leonard, and Memphis' Seth Hennigan. And here's a fun fact. Jalen Milroe was coached by Browns offensive coordinator Tommy Rees during his time at Alabama in 2023. That connection could play a big role in Cleveland's scouting process this week. Jim Nagy has heaped praise on Milroe and Dart, noting that both are generating a lot of excitement among scouts. Milroe, in particular, has drawn comparisons to Lamar Jackson for his athleticism, which his personal QB coach, Jordan Palmer, has also mentioned. Nagy even drew parallels between Milroe and Jalen Hurts, saying, Jalen Milroe has a really cool opportunity to help himself like Jalen Hurts did. For Jackson Dart, scouts are eager to see him operate in a pro-style offense. Lane Kiffin's system at Ole Miss doesn't exactly prepare quarterbacks for the tight window throws of the NFL, but Dart has a chance to prove himself this week. And let's not forget that Browns special teams coordinator Bubba Ventrone is the head coach of the American team at the Senior Bowl. That means he'll have first-hand insight into Milroe, Dart, Leonard, and Hennigan. Nagy praised Ventrone, calling him one of the most enthusiastic coaches to attend the event. Ventrone will undoubtedly provide the Browns with valuable insight into these quarterbacks by the end of the week. So where does that leave us Browns fans? The team has a lot to evaluate. Are Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders worth the number 2 pick? Or should Cleveland consider Milroe, Dart, or even someone like Riley Leonard later in the draft? And if the quarterback class truly isn't as strong as last year's, should the Browns pivot and focus on another position of need? All right, Dawg Pound, now it's your turn. What do you think? Should the Browns take a chance on one of these quarterbacks, or should they go in a different direction? Let me know in the comments below. We all know the quarterback position is the hottest topic in Cleveland right now. With Deshaun Watson potentially out for the entire 2025 season and Jameis Winston hitting free agency in March, the Browns are in a tough spot. Sure, we have the number 2 overall pick in the draft, but is that enough to solve this pressing problem? Here's where things get interesting. Brent Hertzenberg of the Sporting News is predicting the Browns may bypass the draft for their quarterback solution and instead target Pittsburgh Steelers backup Justin Fields in free agency. Now, before you start raising your eyebrows, let's break this down. Fields, the former first-round pick and Ohio State standout, is coming off a solid 2024 season where he showed major improvement. After filling in for Russell Wilson during a calf injury, Fields started 6 games for the Steelers, leading the team to a 4-2 record. In that span, he threw for 10 touchdowns with just 2 turnovers and posted a 93.3 passer rating, easily the most efficient football of his career. Here's what Hertzenberg had to say. Justin Fields is an affordable option who is likely looking for a guaranteed starting role on a short-term deal to prove it. The Browns could offer that and allow Fields to resurrect his career with a franchise desperate for a savior. It makes sense. Fields is just 25 years old and still has that dual-threat ability that made him such an exciting prospect coming out of college. Plus, he's set to sign a 1-year, fully guaranteed $11 million deal as a free agent, according to Pro Football Focus. That's a manageable number for Cleveland, especially if they want to preserve cap space for other areas of need, like replenishing the trenches and adding weapons. Now, let's not sugarcoat it, Fields isn't a perfect solution. He's not an elite quarterback at this stage of his career. But with the right coaching from Kevin Stefanski and the right supporting cast, he could provide the stability the Browns need in 2025. Hertzenberg even pointed out that Fields' ability to create plays with his legs could be a lifesaver, especially if Cleveland doesn't have an elite offensive line or top-tier receivers. So what does this mean for the Browns' draft plans? Well, if Fields goes to Cleveland, the number 2 overall pick may not be used on a quarterback. Instead, the Browns could focus on bolstering other areas of the roster, like the offensive line or defense. That flexibility could be a game-changer, especially in a draft class that some experts are calling disappointing for quarterbacks. It's also worth noting that this scenario fits Cleveland's timetable. With Watson's future uncertain and the team still trying to remain competitive in a loaded AFC, Fields offers a low-risk, high-reward option. He's young, affordable, and hungry to prove himself after failing to live up to expectations early in his career. Now, Dawg Pound, let's be real. The idea of signing Justin Fields may not seem like a game-changer, but given the circumstances, it could be exactly what this team needs to stay afloat in 2025. A mobile, evolving quarterback with something to prove, paired with Stefanski's coaching, could be the perfect fit. But as always, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Should the Browns go all in on Fields as a short-term solution? Or should they take a chance on a rookie quarterback with the number 2 pick? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're here every step of the way to cover all the latest Browns news and rumors. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Browns!